Hello everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So that's it, folks. We are at the last stretch of the 1999-2000 season. It is April. We have 5 games left to play in the regular season. And then we are heading to the playoffs because, yes, we are going to be heading to the playoffs. At this point, it's just a matter of seeding where we're going to end up and who we are going to be facing. Now, something could be said about how I handled the trade deadline. I kind of made my team a little bit weaker. Because I don't like to lose assets for nothing. So guys like... like Peltonen that I had to trade. I didn't want to trade them, but I was going to lose them for nothing. So instead, I made trades that made my team maybe a little bit weaker than it used to be. I still think I have a good team, but maybe not as good as it was. And keep in mind that there's like kind of that... I don't know that it's a bug per se, but, I might be able to get those guys back on July 1st if I want to. So let's not forget that. Just like it happened with Marianosa. So we'll see what happens. Now, we are going to be heading in the playoffs without Bill Guerin and Mike Sillinger. That's going to hurt us. Those are two players that are the type of players you want on your team to play in the playoffs. And this is Norm McIver's last stretch with the team. I already committed to not re-signing him. He's 35. He's still doing okay. I mean, he has, 31 points in 76 games. I mean, that's not stellar or anything. That's still serviceable. But yeah, he's declining. He's 35. I mean, he might even retire on his own after this season. I don't know. So I already committed to not re-sign him. So we are going to be finally moving on from him. So we are starting the month tomorrow against St. Louis in St. Louis. Let's advance that. See how Rod Bryden likes me. He's still satisfied. We went 7-3-3 last month, so again, we had a pretty good record. And we are... I think we have pretty good chances to break the 100 points mark for the team this year. Alright, and Norm McIver is healthy, which is good. But now he's suspended, which is not good. I did forget about that. How many games was he suspended for? 3 games, so he's going to miss the game in St. Louis and then the 2 home games against Washington and the Islanders. Alright, so we are playing St. Louis. St. Louis is 32-39-7, so that's not a really good record, but keep in mind at the start of the season, they were the worst team in the league, so even though the record is still bad, they still have kind of turned it around, so we have to not take them lightly. We played once against them this year. It was at home, and we tied against them 4-4. Alright, so let's get going. Alright, so we are going with Mike Dunham in that game, and St. Louis is going to play Jocelyn Thibault, who is in St. Louis now. And we won 4-3. Alright, so we start the month with a win. Hopefully we have many more wins because, the playoffs are coming. So, we outshot them 36-28. Alexei Yashin was the first star of the game with a goal and 3 assists. Brendan Shanahan was the second star. He scored the 3 goals for St. Louis, hat-trick for him. And Daniel Alfredson was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so Shanahan opened the scoring in the first with his first goal of the game. Then he gave St. Louis a 2-0 lead in the second, but we would tie it up. So Sheldon Souris scored from Yashin and Alfredson, and then Yashin short-handed from Alfredson, and then it was tied at 2. And we took the lead. Joe Nieuwendyk on the power play from Sheldon Souris and Alexei Yashin. And then Shannon scored his third goal on the power play, and it was 3-3, but with 2:44 to go in the third period, Joe Nieuwendyk scored on the power play from Joe Thornton and Alexei Yashin, and that was the final score, 4-3. Game winner for Joe Nieuwendyk. Yeah, Brendan Shanahan lights the lamp. I was there. I saw that. It happened. It's true. Right, so it is... currently, it is early morning, in real life, I mean, so I am drinking coffee, so my apologies if you hear me drink my fuel. And also, this is the day after the Sens in real life traded Dylan DeMello. As you know, I like to sometimes bring real life into those. I don't think we got nearly enough for DeMello. I think we should probably have gotten a second rounder for him. He's kind of a silent force in the back end. He doesn't score a lot of points, but he's pretty effective. So I would have liked for us to re-sign him for 2 years. It just didn't happen. So there's still, 5 or 6 days until the trade deadline. So we're probably going to lose a few more players. Talks are that the Sens are trying to extend Pajot. I would like that. I would like to keep him. I think he's the type of player that, not necessarily that you build around, but that you want your young players to, to watch him day in, day out and be like, okay, yeah, that's how I'm a pro. I think Pajot is the proverbial good pro. He works hard and everything. He doesn't cheat. So I think he's a pretty good role model, basically. So anyway, and another really quick piece of news for those of you who watch my videos, pretty fast, as soon as I release them. My days are always planned ahead. I always roll randomly what I do as far as my gaming goes, which is why I always end my videos with, until I roll this game again. I rolled this twice today, so there's going to be 2 of those videos today. Of course, if you listen to that in 2 or 3 days, it won't really matter. But for those of you that watch my videos pretty much as soon as I push them out, there's going to be 2 of those today, so hopefully you enjoy. Alright, so I'm done talking nonsense. It's not nonsense, but it has nothing to do with the current game here. Alright, so... Well, I mean, it's not the best player in the league or anything, but he's a serviceable player. So the Islanders lose Stéphane Quintal to ruptured Achilles tendon, and he's out for 5 months. So against the Trashers, again, man, on the Trashers is killer. So the Islanders are going to be in the playoffs, and now they won't have Stéphane Quintal for the playoffs. 5 months is too long. He won't be back in time. Todd Bertuzzi is back from suspension with the Islanders. Alright, so the Flyers decided to fire Robbie Ftorek with like 4 or 5 games to go in the season. And he's going to be replaced by Randy Carlyle. So Randy Carlyle is now the head coach in Philadelphia. Mike Modano's assist streak ended at 8 games. He was held scoreless against Colorado. Suspension over for Sean Podine in Edmonton, so he is back in the lineup. Steve Duchesne has played in 1,000 games, plays for LA now. He was held scoreless against Phoenix. Alright, and we are now back home. We are going to be playing the Capitals. The Capitals are back where we have been seeing them for most of that series, actually, which is pretty much at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So right now they are dead last. They're even worse than you know, Tampa Bay and Florida, who have been really bad for the past seasons, while Washington is even worse than them. So they are 24, 50, and 5, and we are 2-0-1 against them this year. Last game of the season against them. We technically shouldn't be dropping this. I did say technically. They are going with Dwayne Rolauson, and we are going with Mike Dunham. And we lost 5-4. Me and my big mouth. Oh yeah, that's true. Sergei Gonchar has a fractured skull. That's a pretty scary injury to have. Not that I have experienced it personally, but I can just imagine. Oh boy, yeah, Dwayne Rolauson probably deserved a star here. We completely outshot Washington 50-26, but we lost. I guess Mike Dunham had one of his down games. Looks like he has a lot of really good games, but he has a couple stinkers mixed in as well. I guess that's pretty consistent with a starting goaltender that's not a superstar. So Vladimir Orsa was the first star of the game for Washington. He had a goal and an assist. Joe Thornton for us was the second star with a goal and 2 assists, and Jan Budish was the third star with a goal and an assist. So Washington took a 3-0 lead in the first, and that's not good. Then in the second, we have Joe Nieuwendyk who scored, assisted by Joe Thornton. So it was 3-1 Washington after 2. And then Robert Cron gave us some hope from German Titov and Brian Berard. It was 3-2 Washington at that point. And then Washington scored. Then we actually scored twice. So Thornton from Surrey and Nieuwendyk, and then Yashin on the power play from Osa and Thornton. So it was 4-4, but with 4:44 to go into the third period, Orsa scored the game winner, and we lost 5-4. Oh, I forgot to look at the attendance. Oh boy, we had 9,671 fans in the stands. That's not good. I mean, obviously winning games is not enough. Alright, and now we are playing at home again. We are playing the Islanders. Islanders are ahead of us in the standings with 99 points. We just dropped to 5th. Montreal got 1 more point than us. We do have a game on hand, too, and we are playing them after this game. So that's going to be an important game for the division lead. So the Islanders are potentially our first round matchup. So again, we're kind of building a rivalry with the Islanders. Now it's up to the game to figure out that that's actually a rivalry much more than against Tampa Bay. Islanders are 45, 25, and 9, and we are 2-0-1. And I don't like how it shows that record like that because the way that it reads for 2000, that reads as a tie, but really it was a loss in overtime, as we can see there. So maybe another thing that I wish they would fix. So let's play the Islanders. They are going to go with Roberto Luongo in net. Why not? Ascending star, and we are going with Mike Dunham. We lost 3-2. Not good. Not good. We outshot them 42-30. There were 11,744 people in attendance. Tim Connolly was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Alexei Yashin was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Roberto Luongo with a 40-save performance was the third star. So, look at that. Look who scored the first goal of the game. So Vili Peltonen scored the first goal of the game. Of course, he doesn't play for me anymore. So open up the scoring for the Islanders, 1-0 after 1. Then Alexei Yashin scored at the start of the second from Brian Berard. It was tied at 1. And then they would score twice before the end of the period. So the Islanders were up 3-1 after 2. And then in the third period, Sheldon Souris scored on the power play from Nieuwendyk and Alexei Yashin. It was too little, too late. We couldn't score again, and 3-2 was the final score. Norm McIver is back from suspension. Welcome back, buddy. Right in time. Oh God, Sheldon Souris got hurt. Shin splints, day to day. Okay, I'm not going to put you on injured reserve then. Oh, Lance Pitlick is available. Former Ottawa Senator, not in this universe, in real life. I don't think I need him. Alright, suspension over for Yannick Tremblay in Toronto. He is back from suspension and back in the lineup. Brendan Shanahan in St. Louis is suspended. He's going to miss 13 games. Again, keep in mind in the way they have implemented suspensions, I think the more often you're suspended, the greater amount of games you're getting. I don't think it has to do with severity. I think it only has to do with being a recidivist. Big game for Pavel Bure, who had a hat-trick, 3 goals against Edmonton. Alright, so now we are playing in Montreal. We are still 1 point behind them, with 1 game on hand, so that's their last game of the season. So if we can beat them, we are clinching the division, and if we don't, if we don't, they will be clinching the division. So this game is important for the division winner. And we didn't do too good against Montreal this year. We lost 3-2, we lost 2-0, we won 3-2 and lost 4-3, so all pretty tight games. We're going with Mike Dunham, they are going with Patrick Roy. We need to find a way to score past Roy if we want to finish first in the division. Oh, so we made it interesting. It's a tie, so now we absolutely need to win against Tampa Bay to secure the division lead. So 2-2 tie against Montreal. We outshot them 31-30. Matthew Schneider was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Matt Cullen was the second star with an assist, and Brian Savage was the third star with a goal. So Brian Savage scored in the first. It was 1-0 Montreal, and then Andrei Markov scored in the second. It was 2-0 Montreal. But we would tie it in the third period. So Andreas Dackel scored from Matt Cullen and Magnus Arvidsson, and then Alexei Yashin from Marian Osa and Daniel Alfredson. And 2-2 was our final score, so now things are interesting. So that's it, folks. Last game of the season against our phantom rivalry team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are 31-43-7 with 69 points, will not be in the playoffs. We have something at play here. With a win, we can take over the division lead against Montreal because they have played all of their games. With a tie, we might get the division lead. We might have more wins than they do, so let's just win the game. It's at home too, and against Tampa Bay this year we are 2-0-1, so let's go ahead and get that done. They are going with Brian Boucher. We are going with Tommy Salo. I guess we are resting Mike Dunham for the playoffs, maybe. And we won 3-1. Division winner, first time in 8 years. For the first time, the Ottawa Senators are winners of their division. So finally, we are seeing some success. Now we need to win a few playoff rounds. All right, so we were outshot 24-21 in that game. Was not our best effort offensively. They kind of shut us down, actually. Daniel Alfredson was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Andre Savage for Tampa Bay was the second star. He had an assist. And Brian Berard was our third star with a goal. 10,398 people in attendance. David Lenko, seems like he's been scoring a lot against us this year. I've said his name often, it feels like. So Lenko scored first. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay, but Brian Berard scored to tie the game, assisted by Yashin and Alfredson. So it was 1-1 after one, and then we scored twice in the second. Marian Osa from Thornton and Matt Cullen, and Marian Osa again for his 30th of the season. So Marian Osa is already a 30-goal scorer from Matt Cullen and Daniel Alfredson. And of course, 3-1 is the final score. So Marian Osa became a 30-goal scorer pretty fast. That's really good for us. Oh, Richard Schmelik is available. I am not going to pick him up. Sergei Samsonov is not going to be suspended. Same for Gord Murphy in San Jose. Andrew Brunette has a strong game. He had 4 goals against Buffalo. Wow, 10-5 game to end the season. Look at that third period scoring. Wow. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 goals in the third period were scored. Wow. What? That's 4 seconds apart. Like Pat Peake and Dave Andreychuk scored 4 seconds apart. And in that same game, Jason Woolley had a memorable game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Pretty good for him. Alright, Sheldon Surrey should be back soon, which is good. He's going to be ready for the playoffs. Alright, so it appears that... Oh. Yeah, the team we're going to be facing in the first round is the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's not going to be easy. They might be 7th, but they still have a pretty good team. Let's take a... excuse me. Let's take a very quick look at our stats for this season, see where we ended up. Alright, so Yashin finished first with 88 points in 78 games. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm glad I didn't trade him. Oh, I guess I didn't have to. I got Shara for free. Nieuwendyk, 83 points in 82 games. That's pretty good. 60 points for Osa, 30 goals and 30 assists. That's also pretty good. He's, what, 21? Yeah, 21 years old. 30 goal scorer already. I am not trading Osa. Again, I should say. Alfredson, 57 points in 76 games. That's pretty good. Titov has a bunch of points, but it was mostly with Anaheim. Thornton, 47 points, so he's coming along. That's pretty good. So, yeah. I think I'm missing maybe kind of a real quarterback for the playoffs, like to man the point on the power play. I guess my best is Norm McIver at this point. I guess we can put Shara and Surrey there with the big blasts. That could probably work. But like a real good puck distributor, I guess our guy was Vela. I had to trade him, so I didn't have to. I could have kept him. I didn't want to lose him for nothing, though. Alright, so... in the league... Alright, so there were 250 goal scorers, Selene and Kovalev, 52 and 51. And as far as points, there were 4 100 points scorers. Lemieux with 112, Selene 110, Kovalev 110, and Jagger an even 100. Yashin was 9th in scoring with 88 points. That's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Oh, look who's available through waivers. Guilbert. Man, the fall from grace. He used to be a star in Ottawa. we were worshipping the ground you were walking on because we didn't have anybody else. Alright, Sheldon, sorry, not far from returning. Yes, please. Woo. Alright, so let's look at the nominees for the trophies. So the art is going to be between Joe Sakic, Teemu Selanne, and Mario Lemieux. Alright, makes sense. The Vezina is going to be between Chris Osgood, Marty Brodeur, and oh, look at that. For the first time, we are having one of our players that is nominated. Oh, no, that's not the first time. I think we had, was it Andreas Dackel for Rookie of the Year? Oh, I forget. Anyway, we are having maybe a Vezina winner. Probably not. Chris Osgood is probably going to get it. The Red Wings had like a crazy good season. Yeah, look at those stats. 177, 10 shutouts, 54 wins. Yeah. Not happening for Mike Dunham, I don't think. It's nice to see him nominated. For the Norris, we have Dan McGillis in Detroit. Okay. Oh, God. Dan McGillis is turning into a star in my universe. He had 55 points with Detroit. Nick Lidstrom in Detroit and Ray Bourque in Boston. Wow. Calder is going to be between Brian Rafalski in New Jersey, Patrick Stefan in Atlanta, and Scott Gomez in New Jersey as well. GM of the Year, Brian Murray in Detroit, Glenn Sater in Edmonton, and Phil Esposito in Tampa Bay. Wow, Tampa Bay, huh? I guess they did turn things around. What about the Ottawa Senators? What about me? Oh, the Frank J. Selke Trophy nominees are Dallas Drake in Detroit, John Madden in New Jersey, and Kent Manderville in Boston. Lady Bing, Andrew Castles in Carolina, Scott Gomez in New Jersey, and Sergei Zubov with the Rangers. Mark Messier Leadership Award, Adam Oates, Mario Lemieux, Teemu Selanne. Ted Lindsay, Joe Sakic, Mario Lemieux, Teemu Selanne. Jack Adams, Brian Murray, Herb Brooks, and Kevin Constantine. Really, Kevin Constantine that was let go mid-season from the... Things change fast. Cool, it appears that Sheldon Surrey is ready for playoff action. He needs to be because Pittsburgh won't be easy to beat. Alright, so let's take a look at the playoff 3. Should be available now. Alright, so in the East, the Rangers are facing the Devils. We are facing Pittsburgh. Boston faces the Thrashers, and Montreal against the Islanders. In the West, San Jose is facing Detroit. Tough matchup for them. Chicago against Colorado, Dallas against Phoenix, and the LA Kings against the Edmonton Oilers. So if you want to take a pick on who's going to win the cup, I mean, I guess I have to say the Ottawa Senators. I mean, that would be pretty bad if I didn't. If I get eliminated, I'll make a pick at that point. Right, so I guess we can look at the Pittsburgh Penguins lineup before we head in. Right, so right now they have Ulf Samuelsson, whose wheelchair probably lost a wheel or something. He's kind of injured, but not exactly. Right, so they have Tom Barrasso and Peter Skudra in net, Adrian Aucoin, Andrew Ference, Ulf Samuelsson, Brendan Witt, Chris Therien, and Eric Messier, and Michael Roosevelt, and Matthias Nordstrom on D. These average to okay. Goaltending is starting to get old, in at least as far as Barrasso goes. Jagger, Kolstov, Streka, Smith, Francis, Lemieux, Herdina, Park, Kostopoulos, Daniels, Kesa, McEachern, and Morozov. It's not going to be an easy matchup. It's going to be tough. Feels like it would be the time for Mario Lemieux to go and help a friend move. I don't know how you guys feel about that. That's how I feel. Feels like Mario Lemieux needs to be a great guy. His friend needs to move, and maybe he needs to go. Alright, so we did win 3 of the 4 meetings against Pittsburgh this year. We faced off against them better than we have in the past, but they are still a pretty good team, so it's not going to be easy. First game is in Ottawa. They're going with Tom Barrasso. We're going with Mike Dunham. And we lost the first game 4-3. So we're down 0-1 in the first round. So they outshot us 41-25. Ron Francis was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Pavel Datsyuk, second star, a goal and an assist. And Martin Straka, third star with 2 assists. There were only 14,737 people in attendance for, a team that finished first in their division and that is in the playoffs. That is unacceptable. So Datsyuk scored and opened the scoring from Joe Thornton and Joe Nieuwendyk. But then Jan Ordina tied the game. It was 1-1 after 1. Then we took a 3-1 lead, actually. Roman Amerlik scored from Sharon Datsyuk, and then Robert Cron from Norm McCaver and Ivan Siernik. But then Pittsburgh scored 3 straight, and they were up 4-3 after 2, and that was the final score. Patrick Eliash has a strong game. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals against the 9-4 game. Mike Earlbutt is suspended in Edmonton. He's going to miss 3 games. Alright, so Bill Guerin has started to skate. That means that if we go deep in the playoffs, he might be back in time to play some playoff games. Of course, we're going to need to play better than we did against Pittsburgh. So Phoenix won, Chicago won, LA won, Detroit won, Montreal, New Jersey, Boston. So Atlanta made the playoffs in their first season, mostly because they play in the shittiest division in the league. Alright, so we do need to win this game. We don't want to go in Pittsburgh down 2-0. That would be disastrous. So Tom Barrasso is going to be in net for the second game. We're still going with Mike Dunham. And we lost 6-2. Oh boy. Yeah, we're going in Pittsburgh down 2-0. That's not good. Yeah, they outshot us again 44-26. That's been a thematic for almost since the start of this playthrough against Pittsburgh. For most games, they are ridiculously outshooting us. So Ron Francis was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Mario Lemieux, second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Adrian Aucoin, a third star with 2 assists. Only 12,563 people in attendance for this game. I don't like to use that term, but I think that the whole attendance tied to winning a game, losing a game thing is a system that's virtually broken. I don't like using that term. It is not working in a way that makes it very realistic. It makes no sense that the Ottawa Senators clinched the division for the first time in their history, and that they are heading in the playoffs, and that they are, playing in front of so few people. I don't care that I lost many games 8 years ago. It shouldn't matter. Or it should matter very little. So I don't think this is working very well. Just saying. Alright, so Pittsburgh took a 3-0 lead into the first period. So that game was pretty much over by then. Then in the second period, Mario Lemieux scored on the power play. It was 4-0 Pittsburgh. We did score 2 goals after that. Yashin on the power play from Osa and Sheldon Surrey, and then Pavel Datsyuk from Nieuwendyk and Brian Berard. But Pittsburgh would score twice more in the third and ran away with this game pretty handily. Injury puts Valery Bure on sidelines. He will miss, 7 months due to a torn posterior cruciate ligament. So Valery Bure is going to be missing a lot of time. So let's see, Phoenix won again, Colorado tied their series, Edmonton tied their series with an 8-3 win, San Jose tied their series with a 3-0 win over Detroit, that's pretty good. Montreal is up 2-0, New Jersey is up 2-0, Atlanta won against Boston, wow. Almost feels that finishing, first in the division was kind of a envenomed gift to get to face the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. I mean, it is what it is, but... Alright, we are in Pittsburgh. We really need a win. We have Mike Dunham in net still. They are still going to Tom Barrasso. Why not? He's winning for them. Yeah, we're down 0-3. We lost 4-2. So back in 2000s, there was only 2 teams that came back from 0-3 in a series. So probably not gonna happen. We did outshoot them 33-32 in that game, but that wasn't enough. Adrian Aucoin was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Zdeno Chara was the second star with no points, and Martin Straka was the third star with 2 assists as well. Joe Nieuwendyk scored to open the scoring. It was 1-0 for the Sens. I believe that was the first time in the entire series we actually had a lead. But Mario Lemieux tied it shortly after, 8 minutes later or so. Short-handed. It was 1-1 after 1. And then Marian Osa gave us another lead from Yashin and Alfredson, but then Ron Francis tied it 2-2, and then Pittsburgh scored twice in the third period. And that was it. Okay, prolific passing night for Doug Waite with the Rangers. He had 4 assists. That's pretty good. Great night for Mark Parrish, who now plays in Colorado. He had a hat-trick, 3 goals. Alright, so let's see. Phoenix won again against Dallas. That series is almost over. Colorado won against Chicago. Edmonton won against LA. Detroit got a shutout in San Jose, 2-0. Montreal took a 3-0 lead. New York won. Boston won. Okay, so there's a couple series that are almost over, including ours. Alright, so, well, it's do or die. Now, I will say this, I got a request to maybe play some games. If we come back in this series and we make it to the 7th game, I will actually click on play game instead of sim game for that 7th game of the series. So I will commit to that. I just don't want to make my videos a lot more longer than they are. I've already explained that. I'm open to the idea in maybe into very special situations. Well, we got eliminated. We lost 5-3, so there's that. So we were swept in the first round. We swept the Flyers in the first round last year, and then we had it done against us this year against Pittsburgh. I I'll be honest, I wasn't super confident facing Pittsburgh. It's a team we have been having a lot of problems with since the very start of this playthrough, and that was probably one of the worst matchups we could get in the first round. So, yeah, Pittsburgh outshot us 44-31. Mario Lemieux was the first star. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Magnus Arvidsson was the second star. He had an assist. And Jaromir Jagr, 4 points, third star, a goal, and 3 assists. So Lemieux opened the scoring. Then Yashin tied it from Alfredson and Norm McCaver. Then Lemieux scored again. It was 2-1 Pittsburgh after 1. Then they scored twice in the second period, make it 4-1, crushing our spirits. Matt Cullen gave us a little bit of hope, assisted by Amerlik and Arvidsson. It was 4-2 Pittsburgh after 2. Ron Francis really hurt us with a power play goal at the start of the third period. Daniel Alfredson would score on the power play from Yashin and Ewan Dyke. It was 5-3 with, 7:07 to go in the game, but we ran out of time. Oh, and German Titov got hurt during that game, and he is going to miss 5 weeks, which doesn't matter. And Mario Lemieux had a memorable game with a hat trick to send us packing. Alright. So we are done. Right, Mike Earlbutt is back from suspension. Alright, Dallas finally won a game, so they're still alive. Chicago won against Colorado. LA won. Detroit won. Montreal swept the Islanders. New Jersey won. Boston won. Alright, so... yeah, there's only 2 series that are over, so Montreal and Pittsburgh goes to the second round, and we don't know for the rest. That's disappointing. Such a great season. That's a little bit how the Sens were going at the start of the 2000s, so they would have really good regular seasons, and then they got a few quick exits in the playoffs, and then whenever we would face Toronto, then it was over, and that sucked. Alright, let's see here. Phoenix won, Edmonton won, Colorado won, Atlanta won, New Jersey won, Detroit won. So, a couple series are over now. Alright, so Phoenix moves to the next round, Detroit moves to the next round, and New Jersey moves to the next round. Would it be something if Atlanta was to really come back in that series and eliminate Boston in their first year? That would be something. Oh, Atlanta won again, so they're tied 3-3. Chicago won, LA won. Wow. Alright. So tied. So those 3 series are still going. The 3 winners go to the second round. That's pretty exciting. That's a lot of game 7s in the first round. Well, 3. That's a decent amount. Alright, let's see who moves on to the second round. Oh. Matthias Johansson in Atlanta is not suspended. So they looked at him but did not suspend him. So let's see. No, Boston goes to the second round. Colorado and Edmonton as well. Alright, so let's take a look at that playoff 3 now. So Edmonton's going to face Detroit, and Phoenix is going to face Colorado. Boston against Montreal should be a pretty good series, and Pittsburgh against New Jersey. I have to go with Detroit. They destroyed everybody in the regular season, and Dan McGillis turned into a star in this league, so I'm going with Detroit as the winner of the cup. I've been doing pretty good by predicting who wins, so let's see if that continues here. No one could stop Glenn Murray. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. Wow, against Montreal. Take that, Abs fans. Boston is in the building. There was no stopping Teemu Selanne, who had 3 goals and an assist against Colorado. Wow. Phoenix looking pretty good. It's not the time to return, Bill. Guerin were eliminated. We could have used you before. Why didn't your body heal faster? Alright, so... Whew, excuse me. I had... Is it an expression in English? I had a cat in my throat. It's an expression in French that means that, my throat had a bunch of stuff in there that needed to be cleared out. So Phoenix won, Detroit won, Pittsburgh won, and Boston won. Alright, we are at the start of May, so I get a development report. So that looks okay here. Alright. Alright, game 2 are underway. Alright, so Bill Guerin is ready to come back. Now I have to nominate a player for the Hall of Fame. Pierre Larouche. Yeah, why not? Pierre Larouche is fine. Alright, so Phoenix won again. Edmonton won and tied it. Pittsburgh won and Montreal won. Coach reports on new players. Some of them take years to get used to the team for some reason. Bill Guerin not far from returning. I know. Alright, I'm gonna need to put Guerin back in the lineup. So let's go ahead and do that. We're not playing, so it doesn't matter that there's too many players on the roster. Phoenix won again. Wow. Edmonton won. Wow. New Jersey won and Boston won. Let's take a quick look here. So Phoenix is up 3-0 and Edmonton is up 2-1 on Detroit. And then Boston and Pittsburgh are ahead in the East. Uh-oh, that's not going to help Pittsburgh for sure. Mario Lemieux is injured. He's going to miss 3 weeks. That could be too long. You might not be back in time. Cam Neely in Boston is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games, and those are playoff games, so they're worth more. Wow, Phoenix swept Colorado. Wow. Detroit came back in their series, Pittsburgh came back in their series, and Montreal came back in their series. So Colorado is out. Phoenix swept them, and then the other 3 series are tied at 2. Alright. New Jersey won, Boston won, and Detroit won. Alright, so those three teams are up 3-2 in their series. So New Jersey, Boston, and Detroit. Alright, New Jersey won, Boston won, Detroit won. Alright, those series are all over. So let's take a quick look here. Oh, sorry, I got mixed up. So New Jersey and Pittsburgh are tied. For some reason, I thought that that was over. All right. All right. So let's see who's gonna face Boston in the next round. It's gonna be New Jersey. All right. So we have Detroit and Phoenix in the West, and Boston and New Jersey in the East. So who's going to the Stanley Cup Finals? We're about to find out. Alright, so New Jersey won their first game and Detroit won. So Phoenix is not going to sweep another team here. I think New Jersey Detroit makes sense for the final. But that's me. I mean, they both finish at top of their division, so I guess that's pretty easy to predict that. And that's not how it works in real life. Very rarely do the top two teams in each conference face each other. Ooh, that's gonna hurt Phoenix. Teemu Selanne got hurt for 3 months with a partially torn labrum. Yikes. Yeah, New Jersey and Detroit won those games as well. So they're up 2-0 again. Alright. Oh, former Ottawa Senator. Strange off-season workout leads to success for Patrick Travers. So, former Ottawa Senator not playing for the Oilers finds himself in the news. Patrick Travers has not been sitting around doing nothing this offseason. Instead, he has been putting in long hours building up his strength, but not in the way you might think, said Travers. I haven't put a minute of time in at the gym. Instead, I've been doing my best Rocky IV montage by spending the off-season chopping wood, running up snow-covered mountains, and lifting rocks. Seriously, I just hate the gym atmosphere and really needed the time away from it all. Despite the unusual workout regimen, Travers insists he is in the best shape of his life. Edmonton coach Jacques Demers agrees. I ran into Patrick last week and he is absolutely ripped. I'm excited to get to training camp and see what he can do. Wow. Good for him. Boston won, so they're trending 2-1 in the series now. Detroit won, they are up 3-0 in their series. Alright, Cam Neely's suspension ends, so he is back in the lineup. Boston won again, tied 2-2. Detroit eliminated Phoenix, so they swept them. So the winner between Boston and New Jersey is going to face Detroit in the Stanley Cup final. I'm actually hoping it's going to be Boston to have an original 6 matchup. New Jersey won 3-0, so they lead the series 3-2. Boston came back with a 1-0 shutout to tie it at 3, so it's going to a Game 7, folks. Game 7s are so exciting for a fan. You're like sitting at the edge of your seat and everything. Oh my god. It's nerve-wracking. German Titov ready for contact. Okay. But more importantly, who won? New Jersey won 2-1 the last game. So it's going to be New Jersey against Detroit in the final. So both first place teams made it to the Stanley Cup final. So let's see what happens here. I'm still sticking with Detroit. They were so good all season. All right, that. All right, New Jersey won the first game 3-2, so New Jersey is up 1-0 in the series. Oh, that's gonna hurt Detroit. Newly found star Dan McGillis got hurt. He's gonna miss 8 months with a ruptured disc. Wow. The star in the making might affect his future. Wow. Not good. Not good. Well, despite the injury, Detroit won 6-0 the second game, so they tied the series at 1. Alright, we have a development report. It's June 1st. That one is usually very short. It's pretty good. It's looking pretty good. All right. Hall of Fame vote. Okay, so let's see here. Who do I want to go in the... I guess I'm gonna go with that. Oh, Detroit won in New Jersey, 3-2. They are now up 2-1 in the series. Stanley Cup Finals. New Jersey just tied it up. So the Stanley Cup Finals are tied at 2 against Detroit. Yeah, I really hope that they are going to take my suggestion to combine those annoying scouting reports and into one a month or something like that. Ooh, New Jersey won in Detroit. They are now up 3-2. I have been extended. Woo! All right, it's do or die for the Red Wings. They need to win this game, and they have 5-2. Stanley Cup Final is going to a Game 7. That doesn't get any better than that, folks. So let's see who wins this. All right, this click is gonna do it. So who's the winner? And the Detroit Red Wings win in 7, 4-3 against New Jersey. And once again, I managed to pick the winner. Alright, so the Detroit Red Wings won the Cup. They had 125 points on the season. That was an incredible season. Art Trophy awarded to Mario Lemieux. Alright, the Connie Smythe goes to Vyacheslav Kozlov. Martin Brodeur wins the Vizina. It wasn't even Chris Osgood that won it. I think Osgood had better stats than that even. Alright. I mean, Brodeur had an awesome season too. I mean, that's not like he stole it or anything, but I thought that Osgood had a better season. Ray Bourque won the Norris at age 39. That's pretty impressive. Calder goes to Brian Rafalski. Brian Murray is the GM of the year. Dallas Drake, the Selkie winner. Yeah, the Red Wings are winning a lot of trophies. Selene Maurice Richard, he scored the most goals in the season. We looked at that prior to the playoffs. Art Ross is going to Mario Lemieux. Oleg Petrov wins the plus-minus award in Detroit. Petrov finished at plus 49, I guess. Okay, Buffalo really sucked this year, but for whatever reason, Ashik still won the Roger Crozier award. He only played 42 games. He did have a .930 save percentage. So I guess when they've been losing, it wasn't his fault. Chris Osgood wins the Jennings. Of course, he had like an awesome season. Yeah, 54 wins. How do you not win the Vezina with 54 wins, 1.77 goal against average, and a .929 save percentage? How do you not win the Vezina with those stats? Lady Bing was won by Scott Gomez. Bill Masterton Trophy to Joe Sakic. He did get hurt last year and missed a lot of games. He only played in 45 games the year before, so it is a nice return for him, I suppose. Mario Lemieux won the Mark Messier Leadership Award and the Ted Lindsay. And Brian Murray wins the Jack Adams as well. And those are the 2 NHL All-Star teams, and we don't have anybody in there. Alright, so this is where we end for now. A little bit of a disappointing finish. We couldn't even win a single playoff games. I think we have highlighted that there's maybe, I don't want to say an issue because I don't know that it's an issue, but with the attendance, the way that it works, probably should be revisited. Maybe that making those trades because I was afraid to lose my players for nothing, maybe that it backfired. I did make my team a little less good, a little weaker, so maybe that played in the balance. All in all, we had a very good regular season, and I believe we can do just as good next year. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't. All of our key players are coming back. Some of them are going to get even better because they're still young. So I can only see us do better, or at least as good or very close to that next year. So we should be in the playoffs next season as well. So I'm going to end this video like I mentioned close to an hour ago. Those of you that follow my videos pretty much to the minute, there's going to be another video later today where I'm going to be doing the off-season and the preseason like I usually do. But for now, I want to thank you for tuning in, and as usual, if you've liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. That's always appreciated. And until I roll this game again, which has been rolled again for later today, but past that, until I roll it again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.